Today I'd like to consider Prince Philip, who recently died at the ripe old age of 99. I don't know very much about him or about the royal family of the United Kingdom generally. It's not a hobby of mine or an interest of mine to follow them. But it has come to my attention, of course, as it has come to many people's attention. And this is something I had heard about before his recent death, which took place, I guess, within the last week or so, that he has gone on record as saying that he hopes, if reincarnation is a thing, to come back as some virulent disease to wipe out much of the population in order to cure the overpopulation problem. Now, I'm stating his words, not precisely. I'm paraphrasing, but this is what he has been on record saying to in some newspaper article. I think in the late 80s or early 90s, and he never corrected himself. He never corrected the record. He never went back and said, "Well, I was just kidding. That's just my dark, wicked sense of humor." Doesn't really sound like much of a joke, but maybe there's a context in which that kind of statement could be a joke. Now, apparently this guy, the husband of the Queen of England, has said a lot of really out there, inappropriate things, racist things, brutally insensitive things. Some of them are pretty funny, I find. But one could, and some of them are really like, God, this guy's such a jerk. What in the hell? What's the deal with this guy? Why is he saying these kinds of things? So one could chalk all this up to, oh, well, he's just an eccentric, opinionated man with a strange sense of humor who says inappropriate things a lot. He didn't just say it in his old age, though, so it's not senility that led him down this path. What I think I want to say about the coming back as a disease to wipe out the enormous swaths of the human population is that this is something that is well in line with what the eugenicist elites generally believe. Now, they don't usually express it this way. They don't talk about wanting to be the agent of destruction of much of the human race. But go to the Georgia Guidestones, okay? Go to the Georgia Guidestones, look at the first commandment. What does it say? 5 million people. We should maintain a population of 5 million, no, 500 million people. Maintain a worldwide population of 500 million. If what we're told right now about the population of the Earth is true, that means a reduction of something like 95% of the human population. Now, that can all come through means like contraception, which are deemed not as harmful because no one is actively being killed in that way. But you look and see what some of these, top echelon people, these billionaires, these oligarchs, these types of people who run in these circles. It's a very mainstream notion amongst them that we really need to do something about overpopulation. The overpopulation thing, you drive anywhere, wherever you are. I mean, maybe if you're in a big urban center, it's harder to do this. But I know where I'm living, I live in a moderately sized city. I know I can drive a short distance away and there's nothing. There are, I know that, and I don't even live in a I live in a more populated area, but there are places in the the United States, especially in the the Northwest or the Midwest, the Southwest. There are places where nobody is living right now. The places that are completely empty, and there are lots of places like that in the world. The world is far from being, this whole notion of scarcity of resources is nonsense. The world is far from being overpopulated in the sense of, there's no room for any of us. We can't. There's no room for any more. We desperately need to reduce our numbers. All this rhetoric, it's nonsense. But another thing that should be pointed out, especially with Prince Philip, but this also applies to plenty of the others, plenty of the other apostles of eugenics and population naysayers, depopulation advocates. Prince Philip bore 4 children. He had 4 children. If he believes that overpopulation, since he's not around anymore, past tense, if he believed that overpopulation was such a problem, why didn't he have just one child? Okay, I know that he was the husband of the Queen. He's not the king for some reason. I don't know why that is, but apparently there's some reason for that. But all you need is one heir. His eldest child, was that Charles? I guess that was Charles. He could have stopped after Charles, and that would have been doing his part to solve the overpopulation problem, right? Apparently not, though, because apparently the same rules don't apply to them, to these advocates. I mean, I think Bill Gates has three kids, if I'm not mistaken. A lot of these kinds of people who preach the depopulation agenda, what we have to understand is they're not talking about themselves. They're not talking about themselves and their kind and their genes and their blood, their bloodlines. They want more of them. They want less of us, the great unwashed, the useless eaters. That's what they're talking about. It's entirely directed outward at us. It has nothing to do with them and theirs. They feel free to have seemingly as many as they would like, because they're pretty fond of their own genes. They see themselves as the rightful ruling class of the world. So these are just a few things I wanted to point out with regard to Prince Philip and his commentary on wanting to come back as a plague. I wonder if he's going to get his wish and come back as a real plague, not this bullshit that they pass off as a global pandemic, but it's really just a flu. It's less deadly than the flu. I doubt he'll get his wish. I'm just going to say that. I doubt we'll be seeing Prince Philip again in the guise that he hoped to take in the next life. I suspect that he's in an entirely different place where, let's just say, he won't have contact with us of any kind anymore. Just a few thoughts. Thanks for watching. My name is Andy Nowicki. Please check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.